We're here today to talk about the doctrine of adverse possession and how it can impact condominium homeowners associations. What the doctrine of adverse possession is if a neighboring property owner occupies its neighbor's property in an open and hostile way for a certain period of time, that neighbor can actually claim ownership of that property. In New Jersey, the time period is 30 years or 60 years if it's wooded and open space. So if you're a condominium or homeowners association, what do you need to do to protect your property? First, it's important to police your boundaries. Walk your property, determine whether any neighbor is pushing into your common property. For example, you may butt up to a residential neighborhood, and those homeowners may be expanding their backyards, putting fences up that push into your common property. If that happens, you need to act immediately to interrupt that use. So there's several things you could do. First, you could actually enter into an agreement with that neighboring property owner, give them an easement or a lease for maybe a temporary use of the property. The second thing you could do is go out and interrupt the use. Oftentimes that may require putting up a fence, doing something to get the person off your property. Sending out a letter telling them to stop encroaching generally is not enough. Yes, it's a good step to try to get them to stop, but you really want to physically interfere with their continued use of the property so you can interrupt that 30-year time period. The final option is going into court and seeking a court order to enjoin them from trespassing on your property and from using your property. This requires you to file a lawsuit, serve a complaint on the defendants, and prove your case. Those cases can be a little bit expensive. You have to go out, show where the property lines are, you have to show how long they've been using it, and then seek a court order. In many states, especially New Jersey, they don't favor the remedy of adverse possession for small little overlaps on property boundaries. The courts don't want people going out and every other week suing somebody because they're, pushing on your property a couple feet. Very important to make sure you know exactly where the property lines are. One last issue is there's this doctrine called tacking. If I own a property for 15 years and I've been using my neighbor's property for the full 15 years, but my prior owner has been doing it for 20 years, I could add those two together, the 20 plus the 15, to get above the 30. That's called tacking. So it's very important as soon as you find out that you have this encroachment to immediately take action, or you could potentially lose that property. If you have any questions or concerns regarding a claim for adverse possession, please feel free to call our community association group here at Stark & Stark, and we'd be happy to answer your questions.